6.
President Trump tweeting his response after an attack on a Saudi Arabian oil supply field. His comments causing reaction from across the political spectrum. It says right there, locked and loaded. That was the phrase. I'm joined now by former county executive and regular commentator on our Political Talk segment, Tom Santulli. Tom, what's your take on this?
Well, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
When you think about it, an ally of the United States was attacked. And those cruise missiles destroyed, and 7%, they've interrupted 7% of the world flow of oil. So it is a big deal. And now the question is, what do we do? And I watched President Trump twice today because lock and load, I know what lock and load means. And a lot of people think lock and load is that we're going to attack Iran. Now, the president backed up a little today and he said, you know, we're pretty sure it's Iran, but we're definitely not there yet, but we'll know by tonight. But, you know, I would tell you this, and I'm no expert, but from what I've seen, they can tell where these missiles were fired by satellites, and they must know it's in Iran because I think that's what's going to be. So here's the good news. The good news is that one time we were held hostage. When they controlled all the oil, gas prices would go up drastically. Remember, there'd be shortages. You know, now the United States is the #1 producer of oil. It's the #1 producer of natural gas. So at least as a nation, we're in good shape. And I think the president has to use caution, though. I think if we get into a military conflict with Iran, we don't need it. And I think that it would not. But we have to do what's best. But I think the president wants to stay away from that. And I hope that he certainly does.
I do, too. And I also, we will probably see gas prices go up a little bit on the coming days.
Oil is up $8 a barrel, and 15 cents a gallon is what they're saying it will be over the next few days.
Okay, so we'll have to see those commentary. What do you, just out of curiosity, what do you expect to see politically out of this? Do you think the president, I know we just before, a little bit earlier on, we heard one of his aides comment on that lock and load question. They kind of downplayed it.
That was his lock and load, is now the United States is the largest producer of oil. If this would have happened 10 or 15 years ago, 8 years ago, it would be a mess because all of a sudden we weren't producing the oil we are today. So, I mean, they're going to have to work their way through it because here's what could happen. Should this lead to some type of a conflict, it will disrupt oil. You got to remember, of the oil that was disrupted, that's all going to Europe. We get none of that oil. But the Europeans, and I think this is very important, and it was said today, if anybody should respond to Iran, it should be Saudi Arabia. I mean, they have a military, they get billions of dollars from the United States. They're the ones that ought to be the aggressor, not the United States.
That's a good point, and we'll just leave it there. Thank you so much. Of course, you can catch Tom on Political Talk on Thursdays at 5:30 with Leslie Danks-Burke and online at mytwintiers.com. And for more on this big story, make sure to watch Nightly News with Lester Holt and head online to mytwintiers.com.